I knew nothing about this area, even though I grew up in Midland, you know, and as I always put it, I said people from the desert don't go to the desert to vacation.
Unknown, unfamiliar, unseen. Even among this sparse desertscape, one of Texas's best-kept secrets is hiding. Big Bend beckons from the south. The Glass Mountains peer down from the north, and the little town of Marathon is more than meets the eye. No one understands that quite like Danny Self.
Well, my family gets together every year in a different location for Thanksgiving. Well, so in '94, they decided to come down to Big Bend National Park. And so I called the Gage Hotel, and they were booked, and I said, well, is there anything else? And they said, yeah, there's the Marathon Motel. I'm thinking, okay, you know, remote, desert Southwest. Don't they make horror movies about these kind of things, you know? And I thought, okay, here we go. And got out here, and it was great.
In one visit, Danny's fear turned into fascination. So much so that he bought the Marathon Motel and RV park and added his own special touches to this 1940s motor lodge.
The courtyard where it is, that was just a square patch of dirt. No weeds, nothing, just dirt.
Dirt.
And as they put it, you build it and they will come, that expression. Well, I just built a courtyard.
The brand new adobe-walled courtyard became an island of green and a sea of brown, turning the motel into a far West Texas wedding destination. But none of the amenities here, or anywhere else we've ever stayed, can compare to the hidden gem of this humble hideaway.
We built this in 2016.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my.
Danny, what is this?
So it's what every kid has in their backyard.
Hardly.
So this is where we do photography, astrophotography. And they remote into these things. And so at night, if all the conditions are favorable, then the roof rolls back on a track and then exposes the telescopes, and then they remote in on their computers. And so they're looking at these just like we are. You can be anywhere in the world and access these things.
An RV park in Marathon is the last place we ever expected to study the final frontier. But thanks to the motel's isolated location, these remote-controlled telescopes sit under a Class 1 dark sky. That's astronomer talk for a special place to see lots and lots of stars. But it didn't take a doctorate for Danny to appreciate the view. He was captivated from the very first night.
I showed up in the middle of the night and it was so quiet. Man, you could hear your cells dividing, and I thought, oh boy.
What have I done?
What am I done? Here we go. And I started taking pictures of stars with my DSLR. And then I bought myself a telescope, and I knew zero about astronomy. Just, there's a lot of stars. And so I'd sit out there and just start identifying constellations, and that's how I started kind of learning it. Then we built the roll-off roof observatory.
Before he knew it, astronomers around the state were enamored with Danny's homemade observatory and the opportunity to stare into some of the darkest skies in the world. And as the motel's collection of telescopes grew, so too did the demand to gaze upon the stars. That's how Danny's nightly star parties began, where he shows people wonders they've never seen before.
See where my laser is? Yep. Look right there. It's actually available to any of the guests that visit Marathon. You got the Canis Major, and then there's Canis Minor. I've actually had people, adults, you know, look through that eyepiece. They've never been exposed to things like this. They're from New York City or something, and they look through that eyepiece, and there's Saturn in the eyepiece, and they're taken aback, and they go back and they look again, like, is this real? It's like this is their experience. And just to know that I'm a part of that experience of theirs it's just about as special as it gets. And you know, the red star right up there is what they call Betelgeuse.
Tell me about your passion out here for doing this.
Well, that's hard to, I mean, see, you're going to get me emotional here. That's what you're after, you know, but that's really what it does. I mean, it's just what it does. I don't know if I could verbalize that quite right. Actually, it's almost like just knowing I'm part of a larger picture. It doesn't just start or stop with me. It's the bigger picture. I'm just facilitating it. So I don't know quite. It's like I said, you know, you'll get me emotional if I'm not careful. But that's
Why
really
does it get
what
you
it is.
emotional?
It's just the idea of just being a part of something that could be such a larger part of a picture. Well, probably Betelgeuse would be the oldest that we could see with the naked eye right now. It's been really kind of fascinating to discover where this place has taken me. It's almost like the expression with, you know, when you adopt a pet and they talk about, you know, who rescued who, you know, and that's almost kind of what this is. It's like when I came into this place, I made my improvements to it, and I guess by default, it made its improvements to me. That's how it all kind of came together. Just one thing led to another. It's all built on serendipity.
They say that the universe is a beautiful shape, twisting around and dancing over space and time. Its size is unimaginable. But Danny says its never-ending vastness can inspire you to dream big. What started as a spontaneous motel purchase has launched him into the outer reaches of the cosmos. And he's taking anyone he can along for the ride, where he'll continue to shoot for the moon and land among the stars.
The sky's the limit. Whatever the imagination can hold, we can do, as evidenced by what we're doing back here. You know, it just starts with the imagination, and then you just kind of keep going and let it cultivate, and then it starts cultivating you as you're cultivating it.
Do you think you'll ever get tired of this, or are you constantly learning and being amazed?
I don't know how you get tired of it, because it doesn't end. So how do you quit? But really, you know, sitting out there, it's a way to really kind of connect, especially when I'm out there by myself. You feel a connection with it all then.
I love that story.
Me too, and we've got plenty more where that came from.
Just click on the subscribe button and keep traveling with us.